So let's take on a little controversial one. It all sounds so good, right? We have incredible access, the content's there, the willingness is there, a lot of private equity and VC money going into education technology. It seems like it should be a straight road to success, however you define success. There are many things that are causing road bumps along the way, and one of those would be the actual acceptance by professors and faculty themselves. And in many cases, while they do embrace sharing their education and online education, there's some concern that there's threats to the world that they've known, the career that they've created, job security, intellectual property rights. What are these threats really, and what should be done to overcome the situation or the mixed emotions from faculty and professors? Because quite frankly, this is their life's work, and this is who we really rely upon to be the sharers of the knowledge. So what are the issues there, and how do we overcome that? Anant, do you have a thought there?
Sure. I think whenever something is new and transformative, so this has been a really big change. I also want to recognize that online learning has been around for 30 or 40 years, and people have been doing it for a long time, so what MOOCs are doing, what we are doing is not new. What is new, however, is the fact that we made it very popular, and we're taking what's been known in the academic research community, in the education community, and we're really by applying technology to it, making possible what they've already known. So for example, there's a very famous paper by Craig and Lockhart in 1973 that talked about, there was a foundational paper in active learning. We are putting it to practice today by bringing technology and interleaving videos and interactive content. So we're making possible what's been already known. So I think what we have to work, so with professors, I'm a professor, and even though we teach, as a professor, I'm very slow to accept change myself. So I think it's very important for us to be brought to the table very gently. And there is change happening here. And to really help us understand how to navigate that change, how to transform what we're doing to accept this new medium and really improve all our lives and also learners' lives. And I think changes are happening, and we have to help professors navigate that change, help all of us navigate that change, and I think we can do it.
I just want to add on that there are different types of professors in sort of different categories. So some professors are very used to teaching online courses. Like Anant said, it's been around for 30 or 40 years, and if you teach at a predominantly online university and you've been doing that for many years, you're familiar with the craft, you love the craft, you may have even chosen to never go back to the old classroom. Then there are also professors who have been teaching in the standard classroom, the traditional classroom, for many years. And I do think, I'm a little bit concerned, I speak more for myself than for the Gates Foundation on this, that we're kind of trying to force the technology into the classroom. For those professors, the technology is really a tool that could be better than a textbook or better than whatever other supplemental tools you might be using. And so there really are very different categories of professors. Those that are already teaching online, this has been going on for a long time, and MOOCs may be a good tool. There was a really good panel earlier today about a number of professors in Maryland system that have been weaving MOOCs into their courses and using it like a flipped classroom. 14 out of the 18 professors said they would do it again, and that it actually was good for them and saved them time. It was helpful. 6 of them said it saved them time. 7 of them said it did not. So we need to let professors adopt the technology as it suits them, as it helps their learners. But we really can't forget that, sometimes it's kind of strange because we're at a conference that's all about innovation and changing the world through this combination of technology and education. Open University started in 1971. It now educates more than 250,000 learners in the UK. In India, IGNOU, Indira Gandhi Open University educates more than 3 million learners. There are actually open universities similar to this. There's one in Iran that serves more than 1 million learners, even though they cannot get access to his MOOCs right now. So a lot of what's happening globally is more accepting of online education than we actually are here at home, which is really interesting. And I think part of it is, if you're all familiar with Clayton Christensen's disruption theory, that many people around the world have not had any access to this type of education. It's not your course, but how to build a robotic car, there's no book for that. You can only get it from an online course. That's why 102,000 people signed up for it. So a lot of times, we should think about the fact that the global learner may not have the same types of things that we have. I know you're focused also on, the divide, but getting access to a free online course through your cell phone may not be great for me, but if there's no alternative, it could be great for somebody who doesn't have access to that.
I think you're going to see a lot. I think it's less of an issue than we all, because we're in this industry, may make it out to be, because I think you're going to see a lot more students self-selecting on where to go. There's always going to be a need, or there's always going to be institutions, I believe, that are not going to as highly value technology. They're going to more highly value the experience of the small class and individual teacher. And I see Middlebury College having these sort of internal discussions on a regular basis. And then you're going to have students who have come up through a K-12 education system where technology is ubiquitous. So they're going to look at a university and they're going to say, I don't want to go there because they don't offer MOOCs and they don't offer online courses. So I think as technology becomes more ingrained in that system and we figure out the bugs in K-12, I think you'll see that self-selection sort of play itself out. The challenge that I think a lot of those institutions will have, if they're in the middle and they're not Harvard, Yale, Middlebury, and that upper echelon, but they're not going in the direction of many of the community colleges and bigger state universities of offering, kind of opening up the doors of technology, where does that leave them? And so I think that's more of an internal institutional challenge, whereas the consumer is going to figure it out. I mean, when my kids, I have a 1 and a 3-year-old, when they figure out where they're going to go to college, we're going to have a very frank conversation about what they're trying to achieve with that degree. Are you trying to get a job? Are you trying to expand your horizons? And then they'll self-select, I think, as many students will that are coming up through this system where technology is just there.
It's fascinating to hear people talk about your profession. As a professor, I guess I have a lot of ambivalent feelings on the topic. I'm a very ambivalent person.
Ambivalent on your profession, or?
One of the things that I do with my research is I try to unpack statements and reframe them in different ways. And I think this question can be reframed in the following way. Are the bad liberal professors standing in the way of education technology transformation? Right? It's a different perspective. It's a different perspective, right?
That's what you get. That's what you get from learning how the professor. So God struck you down.
I should not have said. There goes my research. What was I saying?
Liberal professors.
Liberal
Professors.
So, I think one of the worries is that there's this belief that technology is going to improve the way that we do our work, whether that's teaching, whether that's research, interactions with our students, and so on. And historically, that hasn't been the case, especially in K-12. Just to move it a little bit towards teachers, every year teachers go in before school starts and some brand new technology comes along and someone stands up there and says, this is going to change the way that you do things. And every year a new technology comes along, right? So over the years, people have invested so much time and effort and the technology just disappears. So you can see why it would be difficult to keep on investing time when every few years there's a new thing that comes along that people expect to be transformational. Right? Today is technology X. 20 years ago it was a television, it was radio, it was all sorts of things, right? The internet, microcomputers, you call it, you name it. I think along with that comes a distrust of the market, and whether the market might bring down some of the pillars of education that faculty members value. Now, we can debate on that, but I think that's there, and and it's one of the things that I value as well.